Hey guys, I'm gonna be reviewing a video called Genetic Recombination. It's by Rehab Room. I already reviewed a video of his many months ago. This seems to be a response to that video. If you care about the topics of nutrition, development, and also genetics, then I recommend watching it. The link will be in the description. It's over 1 hour long, but at least you will actually learn something about those topics. Whereas if you watch a Rehab Room video, then you will only be misinformed. And really, it's more so disinformation, because I don't believe that a guy can be this ignorant. We'll see what other nonsense he has to say.
You have Kazakhstan and some other Central Asian countries drinking raw milk as a long-standing tradition, and they are still nuts.
I've been to Kazakhstan and other countries there. They consume dairy. I mostly saw them consuming pasteurized dairy, to be fair. They used to consume a lot of raw milk, as it was everywhere, but pasteurization is very widespread. They also have very harsh winters. -30 is common. Really, really brutal winters. Although, all right, summers, but you also have to take the climate into account, because it's right next to Russia, and Mongolia is also very cold. But whatever the case, their height is not short. You cannot call them this name because they are above that height. Maybe Rehab Room just likes to call people names. It's understandable why.
You have Eskimos surviving on raw meat for centuries, and they are melons. And
Yeah, this seems to be a response to what I was saying, but at the same time, he just ignores it because it's just a scientific consensus that when it's very cold, the body tries to preserve the heat, and that's why they adapted to it by not being so tall, by lowering the height. There's nothing really mysterious about it, and he seems to be the only guy who's arguing about it as if that's something new. It's fine to question things, but then give an argument. What is your argument against it?
then they say, oh, it is because of the weather, bro. They are living in the cold. That is why they are short. That was his response, bro. That was his actual.
Okay, he's talking about me, I assume. I don't know who else.
Oh, it is because of the cold weather.
Yeah, because there are no tall people who live in cold climates. That's it. What else do you need if you don't have any like that? I just don't get what point he's getting to. Literally no people on Earth. That's it. That just proves it completely.
Like domino, guys. One cock triggers the next. Then the question begging to be asked is, if weather conditions are such a devastating, razor-sharp factor to the point of completely erasing, completely offsetting the glorious benefits of raw meat, if weather is indeed such an important factor, then why are Scandinavian nations some of the tallest people on the planet of Earth?
Scandinavian nations, because they live in super warm climates. Or was that a joke? Oh my god, man. Is he serious? What is he talking about? Sweden, Norway? Denmark or what? Super warm. Compared to where Eskimos live? In -degrees? -40, 50 all the time? It's like paradise. It's like a tropical island. Sweden, Oslo, Stockholm in comparison, which are cities in the south compared to the length of the country. Is this a joke or what? Why are Dutch people who are super close to Norway, why are they the tallest on Earth? They almost have the same weather as Norway, because it's warm climates in comparison. Compared to them, they live in the tropics basically. Oh my god, man, this guy is just... you just can't beat this kind of ignorance.
Question mark. Question mark. Again, cop after cop. Anything to not admit genetic determinism.
So that's your argument? Oh, bravo, man. So, what's your actual answer to it? It's just a genetic lottery, guys. Come on, it's just a genetic lottery. It's always like this.
I mean, just a basic, very basic critical thinking. Running a basic logic would have told you that. Likewise, you have some tribes in Africa, some small tribes in Africa that are living in very hot conditions, but they are still...
Who? In Africa, you have some of the tallest people on Earth. And actually, the Dutch people aren't even the tallest on Earth. It's kind of hard to say. It depends on how you measure it, but what was the country called? I think it's close to Somalia, right there. You will probably know what I mean. Those are actually, I think, taller people. It depends on how you look at it. I think it depends on what demographic you measure, but they actually seem to be taller. Also, the women are a lot taller in those East African countries. It's not just one country anyway. In that whole region, they are pretty tall. I don't know what he is talking about specifically now.
Very tall, 6 feet on average. Weather and location are environmental factors, yes, just like nutrition. They are not the determining factor. Those tribes are tall because of...
How are they not? Then, according to your magical genetic lottery, there should be tall Eskimo, sure, tall, sure, just because it's random, because it has nothing to do with food or environment, right?
Genetic factors. It could be some social factors limiting the sexual selection. That is what shapes your blueprint. Then you have the fact that we have moved away from natural food more and more. But at the very same time, we are accelerating the growing taller with each generation. We are getting more beautiful on average. The bar keeps...
Wait, what? We are getting more beautiful on average? Who said that? How? Just development-wise, purely, which I guess you don't believe in, but just 60, 70 years ago, almost nobody had braces, meaning that our jaws were wider, the whole skull, the whole body, but specifically talking about teeth, jaws, the maxilla also, it was just much better developed. Almost nobody needed braces, even back then when braces started, and now it's 80% basically. I actually don't know anybody who had straight teeth as a child. It may be one or two people or something. Basically today in 2025, I don't even really think it exists. As far as I know, everybody has braces except for some very wealthy people who grow up on meat and eggs. Yeah, that's it. How are we more beautiful? I just don't get his definition of it. Just look at photos from people 100 years ago. Perfectly straight teeth, perfectly developed skulls. Or is that not more beautiful? Or what is he trying to say?
Rising with each new generation. These examples just show you that the negative effect of consuming more processed food is rendered useless in the face of sexual selection. But of course, this information
Oh yeah, of course. But why would it have anything to do with it anyway? Why is it even worth mentioning it?
is not maximizing your profit margins.
Also, by the way, these statistics are based on nothing. From everything that I've researched, we are becoming shorter.
I was raised on stuff like salmon, walnuts, milk, and still suffer.
For some reason, he believes that walnuts are a good food. It's seeds. They are poisonous. What do you think you get out of walnuts? He's again just showing his strange ignorance.
Still sub 5 holding nut. Same height as my dad.
And so, the hair is mostly genetic, except if you actually mean severe hair loss, then it may have to do with stress and nutrition also. Nobody knows how he looks like, so it's very hard to say what he actually means by that. And you're not going to increase your height from one generation to the other, but you can get the best out of your genetics. which you for sure didn't. You could have been taller. Nobody has ever said that you're just gonna be super tall all of a sudden, no matter how tall your parents are. Just nobody at all has ever claimed that. It's about improving your looks, height, and everything, just the way you develop, and then giving that to your children and so on, and feeding them well and so on. It's about being healthy and as well developed as possible, depending on your genetics. But the way you talk in your videos, it's as if it all doesn't matter. And with this kind of mentality, with your magical genetic lottery, guys, just give up, who are you gonna be helping? Yeah, people with hope probably don't even watch his channel.
Especially my dad was obsessed with fish and walnuts when I was growing up. He heard somewhere that omega-3 makes children more intelligent.
Yeah, but there are no omega-3s in walnuts. How do you not learn that if you watched my video? Which you didn't. We know that because you skipped almost everything that I showed in my blackpill video. So that's clear. You ignored it and lied on purpose. But then you still never looked into food whatsoever, and you still believe that walnuts have omega-3s? Really? This sentence sums up everything that's going on with Rehab Room. He's either lying or being ignorant on purpose, probably a combination of both, because to believe that walnuts have omega-3s is just so beyond ignorant. It's the understanding of a vegan.
Contributes to brain development. He heard it somewhere and then force-fed me. I mentioned it before. My parents were helicopter parents, obsessed with it.
Yeah, but what kind of fish? Some farmed salmon? Probably. That's not gonna do anything. Farmed salmon basically doesn't have any omega-3s. It's meat, but it's just full of toxins. And walnuts also have tons of toxins.
Education, nerding out, grades. So they force-fed me that so-called healthy stuff when I was a child. They didn't do it for looks max reasons, obviously, but to make me a better academic racehorse. Nonetheless, the result is the same. Now, I am literally same height as my dad. Same balding pattern, except I am balding a lot faster than him. Same craniofacial features.
Yeah, but if it's happening faster, don't you understand that it's not going in the direction that you want it to go? That it's getting worse? And that it would be even worse for your children and so on? And that's exactly the point here, to make it better.
Like, I didn't bring this up before because I don't want people to be like, oh, Rehab is only saying this because it didn't work for him. He's biased. Yes, I know my experience is not proof in its own right, but diet will not change your craniofacial blueprint in only one lifetime.
But what do you mean it doesn't have a blueprint? It does, obviously, but in the sense that the way it's gonna develop. Did Leonardo DiCaprio's father look that good? He looked all right. But Leonardo himself grew up on raw milk, according to his mother. Would he have such a wide and well-developed face if he didn't drink raw milk? Come on, that at least he must understand, right? Because there's no good-looking and well-developed people out there. I'm talking about models, Hollywood stars who grew up on bad food. That doesn't even exist. Let's go to the next one. David Beckham, his father looks okay, I suppose, but he gave him 5 raw eggs a day, and he also grew up on jellied eel. Super nutritious. Yeah, would he have such a face? No, impossible. Richard Ramirez, you cannot see his father really here. But again, he grew up on raw meat, actually catching his own animals. And the results are obvious. They speak for themselves. That's just 3 simple examples. There's just no actually well-developed people out there who grew up on bad food. There's just no examples of it whatsoever. That there's no examples at all of it says everything completely. If we talk about these superstars, there's just no people out there like that. They all grew up on some kind of raw animal foods or on a farm, something like that. There's nobody who grew up on junk food, A plant-based diet that doesn't even exist?
That is a straight up lie, bro. They say, oh, 70 to 80% is genetic. 70 to 80% of height is genetic. This 20% ratio that has been going around repeated. They really misinterpret that 80% number. That 80% refers to siblings data. It is claiming that 80% of height difference between siblings is explained by genetic factors and the rest by environmental factors. What it does not say is, if you eat raw meat, you are going to be 20% taller. The environmental factor is not only...
There are no studies on raw meat, obviously for a reason. There are studies, but when it comes to different topics, how would you even study that if nobody from the civilized world eats that way?
Nutrition. It could be social, it could be location. I would even say household vibe, the vibe at home, the stress you are under.
Growth hormones, IGF, like if these hormones can stop growth in height. Yeah, which is purely nutritional, purely. Eat a vegan diet, that would be the worst case, of course. No growing during puberty, as proven by people who contacted me. They ate a plant-based or a vegan diet during puberty, didn't grow 1 centimeter. Eat animal foods, organs, liver, you will grow like crazy. I've had people who grew on my diet during puberty insane amounts. I say on my diet, just the food that I promote. It's not a diet, just eating naturally.
During childhood, chronic anxiety, chronic depression during your formative years, that could suppress growth hormone production. The environmental factors...
Interesting, actually, I didn't notice that it mentioned stress because working out, bodybuilding and all of that, that also, of course, reduces your potential when it comes to your height because it's very stressful. That's why I say keep the stress as low as possible. But I don't know what he's trying to prove here because he's just proving that it's all about nutrition, because even if you don't have stress, the hormones are produced from food. Otherwise, how are you going to produce these hormones? If you would eat vegetables and rice, you cannot produce these hormones. Whereas if you drink raw milk, eat liver, the hormones will go crazy. And if you do that when you're 14, 15, 16, you're gonna not only reach your genetic potential, you're gonna shoot beyond that. And then when you have children, they are gonna be even taller. So what is all of this talk about food as if you're against it, which it really seems like you are, but then at the same time, you're proving with your own articles or whatever these are, studies, that I'm right.
Influence height to some degree, sure, but how much? That is the question. This includes both nutrition and other environmental factors. But raw milk itself is just a subsection of that. But those lobbyists over-exaggerate its impact on height and facial bone structure, especially after age 15. Maybe it is more important when you are a child. For example,
yeah, of course, not only 15 until you're 18, 19. Yeah, after you're 20 plus, it's gonna be hard, although I've seen people still grow in height, even in their late 20s, believe it or not, and also their face changed. Yes, slightly, but still. Everybody wants to change a little bit, except if you're perfect.
He took those hormone shots when he was 11 and stopped at age 14. He didn't drink raw milk, bro. He took hormone shots.
Guys, both my parents are about 5'9", and ever since I was a baby...
Who, Austin? Or who is he talking about?
The doctor always said I'd be about 6 feet tall.
And people bring up Austin Wayne regarding this raw milk topic. All doctors told him when he was a child that he would be 6'1", and he ended up becoming 6'6". First of all, the doctor predicting how tall a child is going to be is pure pseudoscience. Pure pseudoscience. It is a meme tradition. Doctors can't know how tall a child is going to end up being. That is pure BS. There is something called genetic recombination. Doctors can't know that. Austin Wayne very likely was going to be something like 6'5" anyway. Even if...
The funny thing is also that Rehab talks about this magical genetic lottery non-stop, just all the time. And he has no idea what he's talking about because genes have never even been proven. And if you're some blackpill guy watching this right now, then you're thinking, what? No, but Rehab Room always says it with his depressing voice. Give up, it's a genetic lottery, guys, come on. DNA has never been proven. DNA has never been observed. There's no such thing. It's a deeper topic. I can maybe talk about it in the future more if you want to understand it, but I'm just saying, he's talking about a topic which has not even been proven. And that's what he's basing everything on. Of course, when I say genetics, I just mean inheritance. That's what you inherit. And that's probably what he means for the most part. But then again, he's talking here about genetic recombination. What recombination? If what you're talking about hasn't been proven in the first place. Once you understand that, you really understand who you're dealing with here. Yeah.
He didn't drink any raw milk. Just because his dad ain't 6'6", and doctor told him he would only be 6'1", doesn't mean he wasn't going to be 6'6" anyway. It is called genetic recombination.
Well, obviously, he drank raw milk. Obviously, he wouldn't have been 6'6". What do you think? It's as if you have this blueprint, and then you just eat rice and vegetables with no nutrients, and your body just grows. Just magically. Even though your body is built by nutrients, it doesn't matter. It just grows. Because of genetics, which haven't even been proven, which don't actually even exist. A DNA doesn't exist, cannot be proven. So his whole idea, the idea of his videos is based on something which has never been proven. He has no idea what he's talking about. And he just says, magical genetic lottery. You look the way you look, it's just magic. That's what he's saying. It's magic from cartoons. Abracadabra. You're gonna look this way. Even though literally all of your bones are only built by nutrients. Your bones are mostly protein. And you have minerals. And the fat-soluble vitamins are required for the minerals to be absorbed into the bones, for them to be thick. And this will all determine how long your growth plates will be open and everything. But no, that he ignores. Weston A Price even examined tons of skulls from ages ago, as I proved in my blackpill video. He of course didn't show that because it disproves his whole magical genetic lottery belief, and none of them had any deformities. They had well-developed jaws, the whole skull, the whole body. Presumably, if the skull is well developed, obviously.
Fresh fish, organs of large sea animals, and seal oil. When the Eskimos were exposed to the foods of commerce, there was a marked rise in dental decay and a change in facial and dental arch formation. Here he compared modern Peruvian society with the ancient Incas. This was done by examining more than 1,000 human skulls of the ancients. Dr. Price did not find one significant deformity of the dental arches.
Combination. His height is a polygenic trait, meaning multiple genes are involved determining it, not only one.
What genes? Where are these genes? He's just completely religiously believing something, just like reading from a Bible. That's it. And even though we can see that only people who eat good food develop properly, it's just ignored. And instead he reads from a Bible and talks about genetics, which has never been proven or observed in any way. Literally no human being on earth has ever seen a gene. Never. It's never been observed. I know that to your closed mind, that black pill mind, this just cannot be true. No, but Rehab Room told me it's genetics. There's genetics, magical genetics, which combine somehow. I don't know how. Yes, he also cannot explain how. Okay, that's true. We are ignorant and don't know what we are talking about. But still, we want to believe that it's just easier to live like this.
There are hundreds of gene variants in play. You will see plenty of examples of
Hundreds! Look, there's hundreds. Where are they? Well, okay, they haven't actually ever been seen, literally never been observed, but it's just how it works because it's the Bible. You just have to believe in it. And if you really believe in it, you just really try to give up all hope and you just say eat rice and vegetables, then it can work. Once you really start believing in something that doesn't exist, it's gonna become real. That's his mindset, man. I'm just fucking done with this video.
Tell them to get a blood test and monitor their health before they start using those drugs. I have put countless men on finasteride and dutasteride, but I did it being truthful about
Wow, he put people on finasteride? That's incredibly messed up. Those drugs not only can make you infertile, they can really mess up. This guy, he doesn't care at all about you or your future generations because there have been cases of children being born with very underdeveloped genitals. Okay, you cannot prove that it was from the finasteride, but that's what all of them are saying. They were on finasteride, and because it blocks the DHT, the genitals of their children didn't develop. He just doesn't care. He just thinks that drugs are the solution.
potential side effects as well. Bro, they will be eating clean for years, and they will be wasting time those precious years, and they could have been using medicines. Now, on top
Why would you be using medicines? Huh? Why at all? What is this guy talking about?
of that, they will have to deal with scars as well. Horrible advice. No matter how you look at it, horrible advice. This is just straight up harmful advice. Accutane is highly effective for hormonal severe acne.
What? Wait, what? Wait, he promotes Accutane?
It actually saved lives. Just a brief
What? It has made tons of people extremely sick? Look at people who actually got off the drugs and complained about the side effects. They are insane.
look into forums would have showed you that. Would have showed you how many people didn't experience side effects, how many people saved their skin, and
So what? What if some people didn't? They may have not even linked them to Accutane, or even if they didn't, how is that an excuse to use it? Why would you be using any kind of drugs if you can just eat naturally and you have zero acne? What is up with this guy?
mental health.
These are pharmaceutical poisons because they will, they will literally cause a deformed child if a pregnant woman takes Accutane. These are literal poisons.
Yeah, it really is like that. Of course. But again, he doesn't care about you or your future generations. That's why. Finasteride, Accutane, whatever. What does he care? He doesn't care about you.
When people say, oh, it's just a lot of...
And okay, I'm not saying that I do or anybody else, seeing as we don't know the people who we make videos for. But overall, my goal is to make people healthy. I don't know you, but I'm glad to see comments of people growing tall or being well developed, being healthy, their acne is gone, whatever the case. He kind of really wants the opposite from what it seems like.
vitamin A, bro. No.
That is because the child in a mother's womb has immature organs that are not properly developed. It is about child's organs not being able to handle it. There are many medicines
Yeah, because it's toxic. Why else would you not be able to handle it if it's toxic? Man, you know what kind of liver problems some people have? Because of Accutane. Just because you can handle some amounts doesn't mean that it's not toxic. You just haven't noticed how bad it is yet. Some people use it too long, too often, and they really feel it. Because it's toxic in general anyway. Basically, I didn't know that he promotes Accutane. This is crazy. Basically, what he's saying is, don't eat naturally, even though that's the solution. Take drugs instead, which have tons of side effects, but you can risk that. Think about it. Actually, let me talk about that at the end of this video. I kind of want to stop it because I'm done with it.
that are not approved for pregnant women. Because unborn baby
Does he also say woman instead of women? Is he also one of those guys? I see this all the time today.
These organs are not ready to handle that medicine. The medicine, the drug a pregnant woman takes partially reaches the child as well, and not fully formed human with insufficient organs. Accutane, yes, is very powerful, does have some potential side effects. Some are more common, like dry lips. Some are less common, like joint pain he experienced. These are real potential sides. But it is also true that it saved countless lives who actually had real severe acne.
But how does it save lives? Do you not understand what Accutane is? Accutane essentially just shuts down your immune system. Acne is just toxins pus leaving your body through the skin. Your body detoxes from the toxins through the skin, in case you didn't know what acne is. It's not as if the toxins go away when you take Accutane. You get even more toxins. They damage your organs. You cannot detox anymore. The immune system is blocked. The toxins stay in. And you become even way sicker long term. Sometimes also, of course, it happens very quickly. That's what Accutane is. Come on. You could just... Oh my god.
To a trash doctor who prescribed you Accutane when you didn't need it, and your body bitched out. It doesn't mean it isn't helpful to people with actual acne, cystic and nodular acne. Just like how finasteride and dutasteride.
Cystic acne is literally you eating poison, and it comes through the skin because your body is so toxic. Stop consuming the poison, the cystic acne or any kind of acne right away goes away. That's it. And he's saying no. Use drugs instead. Unbelievable guy.
Oh, fix your problems naturally, bro. Not with man-made drugs. This ignorant take of, oh, natural be good, man-made be bad.
But what are you saying? Is he showing somebody who took Accutane? He still has acne scars. He wouldn't have any scars or acne in the first place if he ate raw meat, obviously, because nobody has that in nature. So what is he trying to say? It's so weird. It's super weird.
Like I said before, these guys are so uneducated. There is plenty of harmful stuff in nature. Plenty of man-made drugs mock the hell out of so-called natural solutions.
Name one.
The entire modern medicine is man-made, dude. If people don't kick the bucket at 40 these days, like they used to in the past.
Wait, when did people kick the bucket at 40? What is he talking about? When? Humans never, ever live to 40. Why would you die at 40? Yeah, if something happens to you, but is he saying that naturally people live to 40? What?
It is only because of those man-made drugs. The same goes for Luxmac.
What? But people used to live to 120, 30, 40 over 100 years ago. They didn't use any drugs. The drugs are new, and now we die at 70. Nothing that he says makes any sense.
As well. Oh, brothers, just drink raw milk for your hormonal cystic acne. Wow. Luxmaxer of the year.
It's funny that he even laughs as if he is in the right somehow. Somehow in his twisted mind, he gets it by pushing drugs. This is what I wanted to talk about before. Think about it. You could just eat naturally, the way all humans do in nature, develop properly, and make the next generations even better developed. Have no acne ever in your life, because it's completely abnormal to have pus coming out of your pores. No eczema, nothing. Just be as healthy as possible. No dark eye circles. You will age very slowly. Everything will be good. You could do that. Or you can eat whatever you want to. Have a more narrow jaw. Have braces though. You can just wear braces instead. He will probably say, why? It doesn't matter. Just wear braces. And then if you have acne, ignore the food. Just take Accutane. You may have some liver damage, whatever. Just take Accutane. It will save your life. Just think about it. You could have everything you want just by eating naturally, health-wise, development-wise, perfect skin and everything. Or you can eat whatever you want and then fake your looks. Use creams, do skincare routines, and take Accutane and whatever. Why? Why would you do the second option? Just why? Just give one reason. Why would you do that? It just doesn't make any sense. He completely embarrassed himself before about the climate and everything he said related to diet. And then at the end of this video, he even talks about Accutane and finasteride being good, even though it has so many side effects, because it's unnatural. Because everything that's natural for you is good for you, obviously. That's why he didn't give one example of something unnatural being better, because there are no examples. Because nothing can beat nature. Does he actually believe that something out there that is man-made can beat nature? Unbelievable, this guy. He obviously doesn't care about you. But if you want to believe in the genetic lottery, guys, yeah, sure, go on, just live in denial. If it's easier for you, if you're that weak that you cannot accept reality, which is nature, have fun, but you won't. Thanks for watching.